Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the incredibly high-stakes tightrope that India is walking. See, on one side, you have its partners in the East, the BRICS bloc, where India wants to be a major voice for the global South. But on the other side, you've got its absolutely crucial economic and strategic relationship with the West. It's a geopolitical balancing act that can make or break India's ambition to become a real global power.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a really stark warning from the US president. And you have to understand, this isn't just some political rhetoric, it's a direct threat. It's aimed squarely at a group of nations that's trying to change the rules of the global economic game. This is the first of what we could call the bad rewards for challenging the status quo. And really, it sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
So who exactly is this warning for? It's for a bloc called BRICS. And this isn't some small, insignificant club. We're talking about a group that represents a massive slice of the world. I mean, 45% of its entire population and more than a third of its economic output. So yeah, with that kind of weight, when they talk, the world has no choice but to listen.
At the very heart of all this tension, the real reason for that presidential threat, it all boils down to one powerful idea that has Washington on high alert: de-dollarization.
So what is it? Put simply, it's a global push by some of the world's biggest emerging economies to rely less on American currency for their international business. The goal here is to slowly but surely chip away at the dollar's status as the world's go-to currency for, well, pretty much everything, from buying oil to getting international loans.
And you know, this isn't just talk. They've got a clear, multi-pronged strategy for how they're going to do it. First, they're pushing to trade directly with each other, using their own money. Second, they're building their own financial plumbing, alternative payment systems to get around the Western-controlled SWIFT network. And third, they're beefing up their own development bank to fund projects so they don't have to rely so much on the World Bank or the IMF.
As you can probably guess, this whole coordinated push against the dollar's top dog status hasn't exactly gone unnoticed. And the response from the US president has been, well, it's been direct and pretty severe.
100%. Let that sink in. This isn't just a negotiating tactic. The president has explicitly threatened tariffs of up to 100% on any country he sees is actively trying to undermine the US dollar. What that means is the price of their goods sold in the US could literally double overnight.
For a country like India, which counts the US as one of its biggest trading partners, the fallout from a tariff shock like that would be absolutely devastating. We're talking about major Indian exports, things like textiles, auto parts, technology, suddenly becoming way too expensive for the American market. That could crush GDP growth, shatter supply chains, and even drive up prices for regular people back home in India.
So this is the crucial point, right? While some of the countries in BRICS are charging ahead with this, India finds itself in a really, really delicate position. It's trying to balance its membership in this club with these massive economic risks. And this right here really gets to the heart of the divide. On one side, you've got the grand ambition of the BRICS bloc to create a whole new financial order. But on the other, you have India's much more cautious reality, which, frankly, still sees a lot of value in the stability that the current system provides. And you don't have to take my word for it. India's top diplomat, S. Jaishankar, couldn't have put it more plainly. He has said publicly that while India is all for using local currencies for trade, a full-on assault on the dollar just is not on their agenda. For New Delhi, stability is way more important than rebellion right now. But this balancing act isn't just about managing pressure from the United States. The second bad reward for India actually comes from some pretty serious strategic risks from within the BRICS group itself. See, inside BRICS, you've basically got two different camps emerging. Washington is increasingly seeing the group as an anti-Western political bloc, and that perception is being pushed hard by members like China and Russia. But then you have India, along with Brazil and South Africa, trying to walk this middle path of active non-alignment. Basically, a strategy of working with everyone without being against anyone to try and reform how the world is run. And what makes this internal division even trickier is a simple, hard fact: China's economic dominance. Its economy is bigger than all the other BRICS members put together. That gives Beijing enormous influence over where the group is headed. For India, that creates a very real risk of just becoming a junior partner in a club that ends up pushing China's agenda, not its own. So this creates a fundamental strategic conflict. I mean, think about it. India is a key member of partnerships like the Quad, which is widely seen as a way to counter China's growing influence. But at the exact same time, its BRICS membership puts it in a group where the most powerful members want to challenge the very US-led order that India's other partners support. You just can't be in both of those boats for long without getting seriously wet.
So when you put all of these pieces together, you can really start to see that India is performing one of the most difficult and high-stakes geopolitical balancing acts on the entire world stage today.
So let's just boil it all down. India is staring down the barrel of two potentially terrible outcomes, what we're calling the bad rewards. First, there's the economic pain of crippling U.S. tariffs if it leans too far into this BRICS de-dollarization plan. And second, there's the strategic strain of losing the trust of its Western partners, who are watching its cozying up to an increasingly anti-U.S. bloc very, very closely.
And why does all this matter? Well, India's ambition to become a leading global power depends completely on its ability to manage this tension. But as both sides start to dig in their heels, that space to maneuver, that tightrope, is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast. Which brings us to the final, critical question.
So that's what it all comes down to, not just for India, but for the future of global power. As these immense pressures keep building from all sides, you have to think, something's eventually got to give. The only question is what and when.